Good morning on day 86 on the Pacific Crest Trail. We are heading to Muir Pass this morning. It's still getting warmed up, a little chilly out here. A little over 11 miles. Not sure if we'll get over the pass today, but we got a nice early start. There's over 4,000 feet of elevation gain between us and that pass. See you down trail. So we didn't camp with Skillet last night, but we did pass him in the evening, and he is getting off at Bishop Pass, which is like an almost 13-mile approach trail. And so he's going to go into Bishop and probably take a zero, but we have a 0 in our future too. So I'm sure once he gets back on trail, we will see him down trail. Okay, we're making pretty good time. We have a little over 6.5 miles to go to get to Muir Pass, and I believe that is it in the background. So it looks very likely that we're going to be able to do this pass today. See you down trail. We're going to take a little break here before we get out from under the tree cover, because we read that the last few miles of this climb are very exposed and it's warming up and we're hungry, so we're gonna cook up some food and definitely running under a calorie deficit. I mean, we always are, but more so now because we've been trying to be very careful metering out our food since we're a little light right now. So we'll see you down trail. The Sierras, water everywhere. Rarely have I had to carry more than a liter of water. Usually I just carry my 700 milliliter bottle, and that's more than enough to get me to the next water source. And on this climb even there's streams and even a lake up near the top of this pass. So that's really been nice. In the desert, of course, we had those 3-4 liter water carries, weren't uncommon, and that's a lot of weight. Now we're just dealing with the bear can and the micro spikes, which are heavy. And fortunately though, we didn't have to carry an ice axe, which usually earlier on you would be carrying one when traveling through the Sierras. But since a lot of the snow is melted, there's really no need for it at this point, this late in the season. So we're thankful for that. But it's great to have water everywhere. I just passed a couple of gentlemen, at least my age or older. One of them had one leg. These men are hiking the JMT, or the John Muir Trail, which is over 200 miles long and goes, well, it pretty much runs along the Pacific Crest Trail, but also includes Mount Whitney at the very end or the beginning, whichever way you go. So no excuses here. See you down trail. Well, we're about 2.5 miles from the top of the pass, and as you can see, Brian had an ankle injury, but I'll let him share more at the end of the day. Another answer to prayer, just absolutely amazing. We got a mountain to climb, a see-down trail. So Muir Pass is said to be one of the toughest, but that is because earlier in the season, the snowfields are really hard to navigate. So you can see in the background the remnants of one. We heard recently that it's not too bad. So we are thankful for that. See down trail. Well, we are at the top of John Muir Pass, and it was a long hike, especially for Brian. But the sun is setting, and we are heading down the mountain, hopefully to a campsite within a couple miles.
3 is the one we were shooting.
All right. See you down trail.
See that?
Alrighty, well, we are wrapping up day 86, and it was a long 13.1 miles. Morning started out really nice, crisp. morning. We came around the corner early on and we saw a deer standing on the trail and a grouse hen and her chicks. So hopefully you can see that in the video. But that was really pretty amazing, all happening at the same time. And the ferns were just beautiful. Kind of reminded me of home in Pennsylvania, in the woods. It was a nice morning, and but it was a climb all the way up to the pass, Muir Pass, which was just shy of 12,000 feet, but it was a gradual ascent for several miles, and then it got steeper. But just about 6 miles in, after we had a little late breakfast break, what happened?
So for all of you that know, I don't usually want to talk about this stuff. So, I was walking near the edge of the trail, and the trail gave way, and I did a catapult off the edge of the trail, down in a big tumble. But when it happened, it sprained my left ankle, which had been sprained in the desert about 60 days ago. It happened pretty early on. And I dragged myself back up on the trail and hobbled over to where Jane was. She was ahead of me on the trail, asked me what happened. So I was very carefully planting my foot so that it didn't twist.
There's a lot of loose rock all the way up.
It's all loose rock. The entire thing is loose rock. So it's quite difficult. It re-sprained itself, 6 or 8 times. And but I think I had like 2.5 miles on that. And Jane said, "Well, why don't you soak it in the creek?" And the creek is really quite cold. It's a snow runoff. And I thought, yeah, that's the thing to do. I wasn't really worried about the swelling necessarily, but I thought maybe that would constrict and tighten up the ligaments that are in there. So I was soaking it and massaging it, and a young lady and her husband and her dad, who were on a JMT loop,
Evolution Lake,
and saw Jane kind of hiding under the shade of a tree on the side. And she said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Well, yeah, I'm okay, except my husband's got a sprained ankle." She said, "Oh, well," and the rest you can tell, because I don't know how that happened, but eventually.
Well, I know how it happened. I was tucked under the bush, and I was praying, Lord, what are we supposed to do here? Because I knew he was in a lot of pain, and we had a lot of miles to go up and over, and
yeah, we were committed. It's one of those times when you're a lot of the way along, but there's a lot to be done. Do you go back? Do you keep moving? Whatever.
Well, back was a long way, long way back.
Back would have been a real long problem.
And so Emily shows up, and she just happens to be a ski patrol, and also she's trained in wilderness first aid. And she was like, "Sure, come on out, dry it off, and I'll tape it up."
Well, you can have all that training and not have the tape.
That's true.
She had the tape. She had a very complete system that she was carrying. So she taped it up. Did an excellent job. Very, very sweet young lady. And
so if you're watching, Emily, thank you so much.
Yes. It makes people nervous sometimes when you say, "Oh, yeah, you're the answer to prayer." But, what do? Do we hit the button and try and get a helicopter out of there? It was very, very serious. So excellent timing, highly skilled, great attitude. And so we're thankful for those things. Hiked the rest of the way up to the top, to the building that they have at the top of the pass.
Top of Muir Pass.
And It's made out of stone, and it's been there since the 30s. And spent a couple minutes in there looking around, and then we hiked a mile and a half or mile and 8/10 to a campsite.
Beautiful lakeside campsite.
And so, we'll see how it feels tomorrow. But, Jane has this saying, and I'm sure it's not hers. There's no way out but through.
Well,
And
we don't really have a lot of options.
And sometimes that's the case. So we're going to be out here early, and we'd like to make 17 miles tomorrow.
To Muir Trail Ranch.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see. But more than that, we are, as we're out here, and there's nothing. It's just us and the wilderness, and
we've had no signal for 6 days.
And the happenstance or good luck or God's blessing that keeps us in still hiking, even though some really stupid stuff happens. So we're thankful for the folks that are back home praying for us.
We are grateful. We're
thankful for the people who just sort of serendipitously get involved. We're thankful for the people that always have a smile and a "how you doing? Great, see you down the trail." This is much harder than it looks on TV, on the screen, whether it's big screen or little screen. So we're thankful.
So hopefully we will see you on trail tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be back out.
Have a great night.
Have a great night.
Thanks for coming along.
Yep.